Picadillo is one of those recipes that is super popular in many Latin American countries, and we Mexicans have our own version to it. It's inexpensive, very delicious, feeds a crowd, and did I mention easy? It is so easy. So let's start with that salsa because it's gonna bring a whole lot of moisture. Start by cutting 4 Roma tomatoes in half. Nothing fancy here. Let's push those aside a little and roughly cut half of a white onion. Remove the stem from 1 serrano. You can add more if you want it spicier, but this is good for us. We're just gonna add those tomatoes into this pan, which I've lined with parchment paper. And we're gonna need 3 garlic cloves along with 2 tomatillos. Give it a quick drizzle of avocado oil, or just one that's neutral in flavor. They're gonna go into the oven on high broil. Place them on that top 3rd rack and leave them in there until they get this really nice char. It's gonna take about 10 to 15 minutes. Meanwhile, we're gonna dice up a few veggies that are gonna make this dish so hearty and amazing. For that, I'm gonna be using 1 large potato, and I am gonna leave that skin on for the fiber content. Just medium dice it. We're looking for bite-sized pieces. Keep in mind the veggies do have to be as close in size as possible. That way they cook evenly. I'm gonna cover them with water. That way they don't turn brown. We're just gonna make sure to drain them right before we use them. Next, peel 2 carrots. You can use more. This recipe is very versatile. Add as many veggies as you like. Remove those ends off, and since these are kind of thin, I'm not gonna dice them. I'm actually just going to slice them. Let's transfer these into a bowl and hide them because Nelson is over here snacking. I keep telling him to stop. It is what it is. It's really good. I love carrots. But I always like to pick a good brand because then you get the ones that are lacking in flavor, and I like them to be sweet. Once ready, let those roasted ingredients cool down slightly. And these are looking gorgeous. They're gonna go into the blender. Make sure you peel that garlic as well. I really love roasting these in the oven because I feel like it preserves a lot of the flavor. Plus they get the right amount of char for an extra boost. Also do half a teaspoon of Mexican dry oregano and 2 cups of low sodium beef broth. It's gonna allow us to adjust our own seasoning. Now blend until it is completely smooth. Place a large pan over medium-high heat. We're gonna start with that meat, and I've got 1 pound of ground beef. It's got some nice fat in there, but I did add a little bit of oil to the pan just to give it that boost. Start it off in the right direction. If later on you feel like it has way too much fat, you can always remove some. I'm gonna take a potato masher, press it down, spread it around the surface until it is completely flat. What this is gonna do is give us this really nice browning at the bottom, and you know what that means. Browning equals flavor, so we're taking advantage of that. It's just gonna render this really deep beefy flavor, and it's natural. It's from the beef. Come on. I can smell that browning. Just break it apart and check this out. This is what you're looking for. This natural browned flavor that is so amazing. It just deepens the overall flavor. At this point, the meat is still not completely cooked, and that is fine. I'm actually going to lower that heat to medium. And we've got this beautiful, amazing, great sounding sizzling going on. We're going to take advantage and add half of a white diced onion. Stir that in as well. And just cook it until it slightly softens. Oh my goodness. It smells so good. This is one of those dishes that's just so aromatic. The entire house is gonna know you're cooking up something really good. We do have a set of amazing spices, starting with 1 tablespoon of smoked paprika, 2 teaspoons of ground ancho chile. We've got 1.5 teaspoons of ground onion, 1 teaspoon of ground garlic, half a teaspoon of ground cumin, and 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. And just take a look at that color. Once you've toasted those spices for 1 minute, add in 1 diced Roma tomato. Let it cook for a minute or so. We just want those juices to start to release that tomato to kind of soften so that we can move on to the next ingredient. I'm also gonna do some freshly ground black pepper. This would have gone in with all of the spices, but hey, we're still on time. And I did about half a teaspoon. Time for those veggies. Let's do the potatoes, the carrots, and 1 cup of frozen corn. Let's mix everything in. Also carefully add in that blended salsa. I'm just gonna wait for this to reach a gentle simmer. Meanwhile, let me get some cilantro. We're gonna need half of a bunch. Oh my goodness, by the way, this year I'm trying to plant some cilantro. We're gonna see, because the previous years I haven't had luck, but I'm really trying because fresh cilantro from the garden is so aromatic. I'm just gonna cut it in half. We wanna keep this at a gentle simmer, so I'm gonna lower that to medium-low. Add in the cilantro. Make sure it's well submerged. Cover it, and we're gonna cook it for 10 minutes. Those potatoes are only halfway cooked at this point. I'm gonna add 1 cup of frozen peas. We're gonna leave this uncovered, cook it for another 10 to 15 minutes or until those veggies are fully cooked and that sauce thickens. All right, potatoes are cooked through. Let's check 1. Perfect. Finally, add salt to taste. Make sure you do enough to open up those flavors, get the best out of everything. And I'm gonna accompany it with some Mexican white rice and frijoles de la olla. Finally, do some chopped cilantro and a squeeze of lime juice. As for myself, I'm just gonna do beans because I must carb count. All of the recipes mentioned in this video, including the picadillo, are going to be available on villacocina.com, and I'm going to leave all of those links down in the description area. Hey, I've added some requesón.
Where's my requesón?
Here, you can have some. I'm so ready to dig in. I'm going to do this. I am not waiting on you.
Go right for it.
Wow. I love the beefy flavor. So good. Picadillo never lacks in flavor. So good.
Wow.
And you can even make this with ground turkey, ground chicken, what else? Ground pork.
What did your mom make it with?
That's a tricky question. All right, you guys, you have to keep in mind we lived outside of town in a ranch, and we had a ton of rabbits that would visit our garden. So yeah, my mom used to make rabbit picadillo, but look, it is so good. I'm guilty. That's one of those meals that I remember and I always go back to, and I'm like, oh, it was so good. I'm probably gonna, yeah.
I didn't expect that.
Hey, you had a cricket in Guadalajara. So really hope you can give it a try. Enjoy it with your friends, with your family.
My goodness.
And make it a tradition. All right, well, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and comment down below. Until the next one, bye.